Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So we have a new Transcendent form on our hands, and this one's a big deal. This is a limited character, and then it's also one of the angels. And this is Mikhail, and I'm going to be calling her by her true name, Mikhail. This is the Archangel. Just like all of the other angel characters in the game that had their names tragically cut short. So this is Mikhail, this is the fire one. The end of last year, we got Raphael, the blue one. And then on New Year's Day, we had Gabriel released. We had Lucifer from a long time ago, and then Uriel as well, the light monster. And yeah, all of these characters are top class, and then Mikhail with her Transcendent form kind of joins the group there. So let's look at her stats first. Stats are fine. They are average for a Hatcher monster. There's no part of her that's very kind of outstanding. If we look at her abilities, she is a sprite, just like all the other angel characters. Lots of sprites out there. And then originally in her evolution and then ascension form, she had null damage wall. But she picks up a new null ability, which is fairly typical for limited transcendent monsters, and that's a null gravity barrier. And so those two abilities together is pretty amazing. That, increases her kind of versatility by a lot. She can go to quests with both the null damage wall and null gravity barrier, both of those in there. And there are not a lot of monsters that can do that. I was just checking it this morning and it's like 8 or 9. And that's including drop monsters and hatcher monsters. So very, very few. And then, however, if you only thought of her to use her in those quests with both of those gimmicks, that would be very limiting, actually. That would be a very limiting way to use her. What you really want to think when you are thinking about using her is to kind of think that she can go to quests that have damage walls or gravity barriers. And that really, really opens up how many quests she can go to. Still, my most used character on my main device here is Verdandi, who's got the null gravity barrier, null damage wall, just because she can go to so many quests. So keep that in mind when you are using Mikhail. The only thing about her, though, is that if you're looking at just a null damage wall needed quest, she has some competition in Himiko especially, and maybe Atos evolution. If you didn't have either one of those, though, you could certainly bring Mikhail instead. For null gravity barrier, I would say her biggest competition is Agnamut X, but that's another limited character, so if you didn't have Agnamut X, you could certainly use Mikhail there. And then maybe you are wondering, say you pull a Mikhail, and then you have a Beethoven. Beethoven is another fire, bounce, null gravity barrier, null damage wall character. What should you do with him? I think there are two ways to go about it. One is you could either use them together, but if you didn't need that many fire characters with that double null ability, I would say ascend Beethoven. He picks up the, he loses null damage wall, so he only has null gravity barrier, but he does pick up the Grand Command Strike Shot, and he's only one of like 4 or 5 characters in the game with that really strong strike shot. So I would say use him for that, and then that would make him really great for Hakua even, if you were interested in going after Hakua in null gravity barrier quests. Okay, and then going back to the abilities, Mikhail also picks up status recovery. And this is similar to Raphael, who picked up just the regular recovery. And status recovery is pretty great. It's not very flashy, but it heals like poison, attack down, speed down, stun, and some other things. It does not heal the becoming a chick if you step on the magic circle, so keep that in mind. So yeah, with status recovery and those two null abilities, she's going to be the only one that can kind of get the job done in certain situations. Next up is her strike shot, and this is the same as what she had before. This is where she becomes a pierce and then upgrades the kind of the level of items on the screen. And then it's shortened. She has a 16-turn version, and then the 20-turn version is the full power one. And this is one of my favorite strike shots. If I were to make a list of top favorite strike shots, this would be in the top 3, I'm sure. Also, when I was using Verdandi a lot, she has that becomes a pure strike shot, and I love it because it's very versatile. You can use it to set off bump combos, you can use it to get out of bad position, you can use it to pick up hearts, or you can use it to do really good damage, especially on bosses if you get right back and forth through the weak point. And then this strike shot can do all of that, but it's got 2 advantages. One is that it can, again, level up the items on screen, or if there are no items on screen, it can create items. That's kind of a crazy ability. And then the second advantage over, say, Verdandi Strike Shot is that the multiplier for the 20-turn version is very high. It becomes very powerful. I wouldn't say it's as high as like Kuhurin or somebody, but still very, very good damage source. So super versatile Strike Shot. And then finally the bump combo. And there's one thing that I thought was too bad about this Transcendent form of Micha. The previous version had the shotgun bump combo, and that's a fun bump combo, especially because hers was sort of directional, so you could get good damage out of that. The shotgun is gone. Instead, she has the lock-on rebound laser, and if you've used Izanami, then you're familiar with the rebound laser. You hit Izanami, and then the laser comes out, and then it hits a wall, and then, you know, bounces back and forth in that same direction. The lock-on rebound laser is like Royce's, where if you hit the character, the first shot of that rebound laser will go towards the nearest character, towards the center of the nearest character. So that first shot is a lock-on. After that, it'll behave like a regular rebound laser, so it'll, you know, go in whatever direction it does. So I would say it's difficult to control in order to get very focused damage, but it's going to hit a lot of guys. So if you need spread out damage, then this could be really good. The one time that you're going to get that perfect left and right or up and down in order to concentrate a damage is if Mikhail is right on the line with the center of the nearest target. This is very difficult to aim for, so I wouldn't count on it. But if you do see her in that position, then it could be worth hitting her in order to get out that perfect left and right or up and down laser. Okay, and then her secondary bump combo is the Meteor Struction. And this is a single hit, it's random on the field, and then it does about 200,000 damage, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, very, very big damage. Impossible to control, of course, but it's very good for doing great damage or even just taking down in one hit little guys on the field. It's non-elemental, so it'll do the same damage to everybody. And yeah, 200,000 is a lot, especially on little guys on the field. I took her to the fire time trial, and then if I hit her on the first turn before the attack came out, it would take out somebody for almost guaranteed, and that's a big help in that stage. But yeah, I think the only other character with a full power Meteor Struction is Izanami Zero. Up to now, the other characters with the Meteor Struction, they've had it on the sub bump combo, which cuts that damage by like, I think it's like 80 to, or maybe 50% or so, down to 100,000 or so. But she has the full power one, so that's very, very powerful. Kind of the weakness there is that if it goes into like a shield or a drone, it's kind of a wasted attack. Unless that is a very weak shield or drone, like in Yamato Takeru, that first mini-boss stage, the little shield in the upper right-hand corner. But yeah, you have to be careful about using her in shield or drone missions. Okay, so yeah, with her bump combo, good damage overall, I would say. Difficult to get concentrated damage. Alrighty, so next let's look at what able berries would be good for her. she is a sprite. There are lots of other sprites. So I could recommend any class Ableberry for her. Class Kin Vigor would be good. Raise her hit points and also her teammates. Class Kin Strength is always good on everybody. And then Class Kin Speed as well. That can be good. Especially with her strike shot, just so that she gets more hits with that very high multiplier. I would highly recommend Detox for her. Most people don't think of Detox as a very good Ableberry, but for her it's especially good. Because she can go to floor 24 of the Tower of Champions. She's got the null gravity barrier, and then she's got the status recovery to heal other guys' poison. But with Detox, she'll take less poison damage herself. And then also, if you wanted to use her in Kushinada, which is a possibility, there is that Spritzer mini-boss stage where there is poison, so Detox would work there as well. And then there's a new Colossal quest coming out very soon, Shambhala, where the poison is very powerful. And so having the Detox there would be really good. And I'm considering taking her back into the temple to try to get that. So yeah, Detox I would recommend for her. I think Sidekick could be fun. It would be so-so on her Rebound Laser, but it would be really, really good on her Meteor Destruction. If you got 20%, that would raise it from 200,000 to 240,000. So that's a big, big difference there. But yeah, almost any Ableberry would be good on her. She's just really balanced overall. Survivor, of course, really good. Cutthroat, really good. Okay, and then finally, to talk about what missions she would be good for, I talked about that kind of throughout this video already. But floor 24 of the tower should also be good in 30, 35, and 40, because you need both null gravity barrier and null damage wall in there. You could take her to Kushinada, you could take her to Shambhala, the next Colossal quest. And then there are some other very high-level quests in the future where she will be very good. And of course, all extreme quests with either null gravity barrier or null damage wall. Alrighty, so let's move ahead to the video where we use her. And then I'm going to bring her to a quest with just damage walls, just to show that she is that versatile. And we'll go to Tengu. I'm in the middle of farming this guy for his second max luck in order to give him an Ableberry. So I thought I might as well use the time there to kill two birds with one stone. So gimmicks here, they are damage walls only. There's a little bit of laser barrier, so that will get in the way of our rebound laser. And drones, which will get in the way of our meteor destruction. So yeah, there we saw the meteor going to the drone. But despite these things being here, we're still going to see a lot of good use out of her bump combos and just everything else about her. So yeah, there we saw that Mikhail's lock-on rebound laser, the first hit went into Tengu because Tengu is the nearest target, and then after that it just bounced as normal, as if you were using Izanami. Okay, pretty good. The other characters that I'm using here are Kushinada, damage wall, and yeah, strong bump combo, strong strike shot. And then Son Goku, he has a blast bump combo, so he can get out more bump combos for my Mikhails. And then yeah, I'm going to be taking every turn to sort of just try to hit as many of those bump combos as I can. Okay, so yes, we are seeing that the meteors on these guys, they're doing about the 200,000 damage, and it's not modified by element because it's a non-elemental attack. Mikhail's direct attacks do more damage because she is the fire element, but the meteors will not do that. Okay, so yeah, I think we're getting a sense of how the rebound, the lock-on rebound laser works, so. Okay, here is the boss stage. And Tengu is a little bit on the difficult side. Maybe that's just me talking when I just started the game, and he was one of the first max looks that I ever worked on. But I would say he is difficult. Lots of little guys all over the screen, and then a pretty good damage output as well. And it's also a bit difficult to get the speed clear as well. But still, he's a very good max luck to make. He has a bounce with flight and null gravity barrier, and his evolution form has a very good bump combo. So he is worth the effort. And I'm kind of debating with myself if Mikhail is good for Hakuha. I don't really see her mentioned in conversations about Hakuha on JP message boards, but I wonder if she could be good. She does have the status recovery, so she could heal the poison or the attack down that is on that stage. And then a 16-turn strike shot that charges up pretty quick. And then hearts. If you don't have good heart luck in Hakuha, that can really sink you. So having Mikhail for that reason could be good as well. And the fact that she has both a null gravity barrier and null damage wall means that she can go to lots of different quests. So you could take her to more quests in order to go after Hakuha. So I would say yes, she is good, but I haven't tested her out personally. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody use her there. Maybe I'll do some research on that. Okay, so let's use Mikhail's strike shot. This is the first tier. And then I think when most people think about using this strike shot, they think about it one of two ways. One is to, go straight for the heart and then grab that heart as it upgrades. And then the second is just to use it as an attack. I think there's a third way to think about it, which is what I did there. And that is to do an attack, but also use it to upgrade it without grabbing it. And yeah, so what I did there, we had the little heart and the medium heart. I used it. Both hearts were upgraded to the medium heart and then the gold heart. And then I was anticipating grabbing it on the next turn. So yeah, you don't need to, choose one or the other. You can do a little bit of both, thinking about it that way. And that worked out fine. We're starting the next level with almost with full hit points. Okay, so last stage of Tengu, we only have 5 turns left to get the speed clear. So yeah, it's difficult to get the speed clear here. And yeah, lots of targets here as well, which kind of soak up our attacks. But here, let's use the other Mikhail strike shot, this one purely for damage. And this is the second tier, the full power one. Okay, pretty good. I should have done a little bit lower angle to get more hits on Tengu, but still, 1.6 million damage is pretty darn good. And then we did upgrade that heart down there as well. And yeah, I did say this earlier, but if there are no items on the screen, you can use Mikhail's strike shot, and then it will create an item for you. I'm pretty certain that that's how that works. Okay, so we got rid of all the little guys, and then probably just one more attack will take down Tengu, and we will get the speed clear. Okay, so that was a quick look at the new Transcendent form of Mikhail. And yeah, in sum, I would say that she's very versatile. Maybe not as consistent a damage source as some of the other angels, but because of her abilities especially, and her strike shot, super duper versatile, so very, very usable. Alrighty, hope you get yours, and we'll see you again. Take care.